Hello there, my name is Christopher Killerby and I'm delighted to be joining you here for London's Arts in Health Week with Opera Holland Park and the Inspire project. And I'll give you a little outline of what we're going to be doing in this video. It should take about 45 minutes and we're going to have 10 minutes of physical warm-up, 10 minutes of vocal warm-up, and then we're going to look at two songs. The first one is 1953 Dean Martin, That's Amore, and the second song I found when I was looking for some inspiration after the VE Day celebrations that we've had recently. This isn't the Vera Lynn song, but it's called Till We Meet Again, and it was written actually during the 1918 Spanish flu pandemic. And I thought that would be quite a nice sort of tie-in with what's happening in the world at the moment. So one is about being very much in love, and the other is about being in love but having to be apart. And I think we all know a little bit about that at the moment. Okay, so are you ready for a little bit of physical working out? Before we start with any of that stuff, I'd like to just say a few things. Firstly, that none of these exercises need to be done to an extreme length or level. Please do everything you do within your own comfort zone. Nothing should hurt. If it hurts, stop immediately. Pause the video, make yourself a cup of tea, and come back and listen to what we're doing next. But the other thing is that even though all these exercises are chair-based, I'd like you to just think a little bit about not being too loungy. So if you're on the sofa, try and make sure that you're sort of sitting towards the edge of the seat, so that you've got a nice straight back and that your feet are both planted on the ground. That means that you're physically ready for some singing. Okay, we're going to aim to do a bit of mobilizing, stretching and energizing, and all of these exercises are sort of things that I have in mind for mindfulness and well-being. So I hope that you get something out of them that isn't just a vocal and a physical warm-up, but that you feel like you're looking after yourself nicely. That's part of the deal, I think, is that when you're singing and making music, you're really thinking about looking after yourself. Okay, so first thing we're going to do is a little bit of shoulder action. So I just like to do a bit of small motion, just rolling your shoulders forward and back, changing direction whenever you like. You can join in. I will demonstrate, and when I ask you to join in, then you can join in as you like. But I think this one is fairly self-explanatory. Just rolling your shoulders forward and back, just to mobilize. Okay, and then we can do a little bit of stretching the shoulders. Okay. Now, I like to stretch the shoulder by creating a crook with your arm. So if you crook your right arm and you put your left arm inside the crook of the right arm, and then you pull back your right arm, you'll feel a lovely stretch here. It's a great feeling. I love this feeling. The other thing worth mentioning is that these stretches should last for between 5 and 10 seconds. The reason that we do that is that the brain then knows that it's not a sudden stress, it's a gradual stretch rather than something to go into shock about. Okay, so if you hold the pose for a little longer than you think, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 sort of feeling, it means that your brain is telling the muscle that this isn't a stress, this is a stretch. Okay, and that's quite important, I think, so that your body responds in a nice and calm and measured way. Okay, so did you see I swap arms around? So you crook your left arm and you put the elbow of your right arm inside the crook of the left, and then you pull back. So you've got this sort of shape you can see, and make your bicep of your left arm curl up as you stretch the right shoulder. Okay, you can do that with me. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Leave it at that. Okay, now that should make things feel lovely and free. Okay, now there's a little exercise that I like to do, which is a bit more energizing. And this is, it goes and an up and a down and a forward and a back, and an up and a down and a forward and a back. Okay, you do that twice, and then you go and around and around and around, up, down. Okay, do that with me. So the first half is and an up and a down and a forward and a back, and an up and a down and a forward and a back. Okay, now we do 2 arounds backwards, and around and around. Then we do 1 forwards and around, up, down. Okay, do you want to do that one more time? Might be nice. We're going to speed it up a little bit. So, and an up and a down and a forward and a back, and an up and a down and a forward and a back, and around and around and around, up, down. Okay, so that's energizing the shoulder region a little bit. The next thing we're going to look at is the neck. Okay, so the neck is a very delicate part of the body, and we should always look after it very nicely. It's also where the throat is and where your vocal cords are. So any tension that is in your neck is going to affect the way you sing. So it's really important to try and get that really nice and loose. So the first thing I like to do is just to, I imagine that I've got a pen coming out of the top of my head, and I'm writing my name in big loopy cursive letters on the ceiling with my head. I have a long name. If yours is just Sue or Bob, put your surname in too. Okay, so just thinking about writing the name, you don't have to have your hand up there. Just do it with your head. It looks very silly, but it's a very nice and gentle way of just mobilizing the neck. And as I said, using very loopy cursive letters. You can write your name. Okay, so that's mobilizing the neck a little bit. The other thing I like to do very quickly is just go forward, side to side like that, and then up and down a couple of times like that. And now we're going to do a little stretch. This looks a little scarier than it is in reality. What you do is you put your hand on the opposite side of your head so that you create a shape like this. Try and mirror me. So this is my left hand on my right hand side of my head. Okay, and this hand is shoulder height at the moment. And then what you do is you just tilt your head to the side and let the weight of your arm just hang there. You're not pushing, I'm not pushing down on my head at all. I'm just letting the weight of my arm rest on my head. And then this hand, my right hand, I'm going to bring down to parallel to the floor. And as you hit your extended arm right to the parallel on the floor, you'll feel a wonderful little stretch that goes along the top here. It's really very nice. And if you take a good deep breath in, 2, 3, 4, and out, 2, 3, 4. And then you release. Remember what I said about keeping your stretches for a little longer means that your brain is sending the signal that this isn't stress, it's a stretch. Okay, so other side. Let's do it. So this is your right hand on your left side of your head. Okay, left hand shoulder height, and you just tilt your head to the side. Again, don't pull, don't need to pull. And this hand, your left hand is now traveling down to be parallel to the floor. And as you stretch, you'll feel that lovely stretch happen. And breathing in, 2, 3, 4, and out, 2, 3, 4. Good. Okay, so that's starting to feel nice and loose, isn't it? I also like to just do a little bit of hanging. So you just let your whole body just go forward and let it hang, and let the weight of your head, just let your neck extend forward. That's such a nice feeling. And then just mobilize a little bit, make sure that it's getting a nice stretch. Okay, and then while you're hanging there, I want you to just think about put your hands on your thighs. Your hands on your thighs. Okay, and now you're going to stretch your arms and look up to the ceiling. And that's a lovely stretch. It stretches all of this and the root of the tongue. And then do that again. So hang down, and then hands on the thighs, and extend your arms and open up the chest. And you'll feel this lovely stretch in the front of the neck, which is really quite interesting because a lot of the stuff that we're doing has been side and back. This is all about the front of the neck, feeling that stretch. Remember, we want to get that stretch for a little longer. So here we go. Up you go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Okay. Right. We haven't got a lot of time left, so let's do a quick rib twist and opening up the chest a bit. And then we're going to do a little bit of face and jaw and tongue. Okay, so ribs first. I like to just think about doing the twist. Main thing to do while you're sitting down like this is to not let your hips follow in the same direction. Keep your hips still, okay? Do a couple of these just gently. It's, as I said, you're not auditioning for a chorus line, so just relax. And then we like to just put our fingers behind our back and link our fingers, open up the chest, pull our shoulders back. What you're doing is you're extending your arms so that they're right down to your tailbone. And you should feel chest expand like wonderful. It's great. Okay. Next thing, we're going to do a little hug. Okay. So you put your arms around, aiming your fingertips for your shoulder blades. It's a little more difficult than it was at the beginning of lockdown. So now you're going to take a nice deep breath in through your nose. And you'll feel yourself expand under your arms, and then you just release. That's a great feeling. And hugs. Who's, didn't know we were going to miss hugs, but we do. We miss them terribly. Here we are. One nice deep breath in. And sigh out as you go. Okay. So very quickly, going to activate the face and the jaw next. So first of all, we're stretching our eyebrows up. Okay, that sounds like a very strange thing to be doing, but actually stretching and lifting the eyebrows has a lot of difference on the inside of the mouth. It changes the tension there. And the other thing that it does is that it creates a nice taut face. So when you're singing, there's a brightness to the sound. So it's lovely to lift your eyebrows up. You can see I do that all the time. So there we are. That's the cost of a nice bright tone, is a few facial lines. All right. And then the other thing to do is cheeks. So we're going to go ooh, ee, ooh, ee, ooh, ee. And just feel how far you can stretch the E and how narrow you can make the ooh. Okay, so ooh, ee, ooh, ee, ooh, ee. Lovely in the cheeks. Okay. Now let's have a little yawn. You're going to take a deep yawn. That always makes me want to really yawn. What happens is that you lift the soft palate and you open up the back of the throat and the tongue relaxes, and so does the jaw. It's a great thing to do. So a couple more of those. And if it doesn't happen as a real yawn, even it doesn't matter. But just thinking about that, it'll lift the soft palate up. So, it's nice to vocalize that as well. So here we go. One more. Okay. We're going to put the tip of our tongue on the hollow part of our hard palate. So the hard palate is the bony bit just behind your teeth. that's got sort of a ridge, and it's like a dome inside. Put the tip of your tongue inside there, and you're going to extend your jaw down. So I'll demonstrate. It's hard to see what I'm doing because it's all happening on the inside of the mouth. But the tip of my tongue is inside, just behind my teeth. Those are my teeth, my fingernails are my teeth. The tip of the tongue is pointing upwards. And I'm relaxing the jaw, but keeping the tip of the tongue right up on the roof. Okay, got that? One more of those. Remember, 5 to 10 seconds. Here we go. And relax. Okay, quick energizer. We're going to do brush our teeth clockwise 5 times and anti-clockwise 5 times, as fast as we can. And then you just give yourself a little massage. Oh. 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 Okay, I think we're ready for some vocalizing now. Okay, so we've done all of the physical stuff now. I think we're ready to make some noise. First of all, we have to address where the sound comes from and what the sound is, and it's your breath basically vibrating through your vocal cords. So first thing we need to do is make sure that we're breathing in the right way. When we're singing, we don't want to breathe up and down in the same way that we would normally. If you were running and you were panting, your chest would heave up and down, and all of that would just create lots of tension in the neck, which we've just spent 10 minutes trying to get all the tension out of. So first thing we want to do is we isolate where we breathe to. I want you to just put your fingers just below your sternum, just where your rib cage comes back up. There's a nice little fleshy bit there, and that's what we're aiming for. Okay? You're going to just go zzz, zzz, zzz. And you should even be able to see on the video that my hands move as I do that. Zzz, zzz, zzz. Okay? That's where we're sort of wanting all the origin of sound to come from, that spot. Okay? To do that, we have to think slightly further down. Okay? So breathing into the bottom 2 ribs, which is where we're aiming for now. Okay? It's a nice way of isolating to make sure that you can breathe without lifting the rib cage up, is to interlock your fingers and hold them out in front of you. You'll see that the camera angle when I was demonstrating that from the front looked like I was holding them down, but actually they're parallel to the floor. Okay, so parallel to, you can still see me there, parallel to the floor, and now you're just going to take a deep breath in. And you'll see that all of that air hasn't come up here. It's gone sideways. It's a lovely thing to do. Okay, so we're going to take a nice deep breath. Don't hyperventilate. Don't take too much air in, okay? Just a relaxed deep breath. But what I want you to think about is aiming for your bottom ribs. So put your arms out, take a nice deep breath in, and out, and in, and out, and one more, in, and relax. Okay, so you get the sense of where that's going. Now we're going to breathe in for 4 counts, and then out on a s, using those little muscles over here to contract, and exhale for 8 counts. Spend all the air. Okay, so we're going to breathe in for 4 counts with me. In and out. Good. Okay, make sure you've spent all the air. Next, in for 4, out for 12. In and out for 12. Good. In for 4 again. In and out for 16. you have enough to do it for 20? Let's try. In for 4. In. And out. Well done if you got all the way there. Otherwise, don't worry. It's not a race. Whenever you're doing these little exercises, think about that. Try and just extend it each time. Every time that you exhale, see if you can add an extra second. And there's something quite nice about counting as well in your head when you 1, 2, 3. It's a bit meditative. So that's a good thing. Okay. So we've activated these by doing the zzz earlier on. I just want you to think about them again, and you're just going to go sh. So S for sugar, F for Freddy, and sh for sh. Okay, here we go. So okay. 3 little sets like that. Just about waking up those muscles, making sure that they're there. Now that we've done that, we can activate the voice a bit. So we're going to go voo, 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 voo. And I like to think of Lady Bracknell, and the oh handbag is the voo. Or anything Maggie Smith does, same sort of inflection as her. So you go voo, 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 voo. Okay, a couple more of those. Voo, 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 voo. Voo, 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 voo. Very good. We're all aspiring Lady Bracknells and Maggie Smiths and Kenneth Williamses. Okay. So now we can start thinking about actual notes, because we've warmed up the body, we've activated the area. We can now start to sing, but I'm going to go nice and gently because we're still just coaxing our voices out a little bit. Here we go. So this is just a ma, and it should last for a little while, but it doesn't have to last for very long. The idea is that it just stops, okay? But you have a hum before, and I want you to, when you're humming, I want you to think of that hot potato inside the mouth, so you're giving it as much space as you can, so it doesn't touch anywhere. I'm going to start slightly lower, so I'll start the octave where I would normally start. That's for a lady. This is for a gentleman, or a lady who has a deep voice. I teach a lady who sings lower than I do. Here we go. So, ma. Join me this time. 1, 2, 3, and. Couple more of those. Okay, you may have noticed that as I was breathing in, I was thinking of a yawn. What we did in the warm-up. Think of that yawny breath. Okay, so we're coaxing the voice out. We're going to do a couple more exercises where we're still doing very gentle things. The next one is like this. And you go, ma. It's all connected though. Don't think of the two things as two separates. And ah. It's Try it with me. Let's go into z and o. Z, that really makes that part of your body engage. One more of those. Let's do that one again. Do one more, and this is on a v and an oo. So okay. We're going to do one more exercise just to move the voice around a bit. This is a downward one. You start fairly high. Me, so you jump down the octave, and then you have a little me, and then you open up onto an me, last one, very good. Okay, very quickly, we're also just going to do a little tongue twister. And this one goes like this. The tip of the tongue, if it slips, will eclipse both the lips as it flips. Oy. So we'll do that little bit by little bit. The tip of the tongue, if it slips, will eclipse both the lips as it flips. Okay, say it after me. The tip of the tongue will eclipse both the lips. No, we'll have to edit this out. The tip of the tongue, if it slips, will eclipse both the lips as it flips. Okay, and we'll sing it nice and slowly initially, but it goes like this. The tip of the tongue, if it slips, will eclipse both the lips as it flips. So it goes up, step by step, up the scale. The tip of the tongue, if it slips, will eclipse both the lips as it flips. Okay, try it again. The tip of the tongue, if it slips, will eclipse both the lips as it flips. The tip of the tongue, if it slips, will eclipse both the lips as it flips. How's that feeling? Is it getting too fast, or are you okay with that speed? It doesn't have to be a race, but what we want is for you to just really try and enunciate as best you can. So the tip of the tongue, if it slips, will eclipse both the lips as it flips. Okay, ready to learn a song? Okay, so time to learn That's Amore, which Dean Martin sang and is in one of the most amazing films called Moonstruck. I love that film so much, and this is just a very short version of it. I'm going to sing little line by line, and I'm going to ask you to join in. Okay, so in Napoli, where love is king, when boy meets girl, here's what they sing. Okay, let's try that together. So in Napoli, where love is king, when boy meets girl, here's what they sing. That work okay? Okay, that's the introduction. What normally happens is that you should imagine a mandolin. In Napoli, when love is king, when boy meets girl, here's what they sing. Okay, next line. When the moon hits your eye like a big pizza pie, that's amore. Now, I'm not doing amore, going that's amore, because we're an opera company. I have to sing Italian properly. Okay, so when the moon hits your eye like a big pizza pie, that's amore, that's amore. And you can definitely join in with those little backing vocals answers. So, when the moon hits your eye like a big pizza pie, that's amore. And I love this song for one reason alone, and that is that it demonstrates a beautiful way of how a Viennese waltz, bizarrely, has this lovely lilt to it. And so you have that big pizza pie, that's amore. See how it carries you along the Ferris wheel and then it goes on. It's the great spin that you have in a Viennese waltz. Although this is Napoli after all. So let's look at the second line. So this, when the world seems to shine like you had too much wine, that's amore, that's amore. Okay, so we've got when the moon hits your eye like a big pizza pie, that's amore. When the world seems to shine like you've had too much wine, that's amore, that's amore. Bells will ring, ting-a-ling-a-ling, ting-a-ling-a-ling, and we'll sing Vita Bella, Vita Bella. Hearts will play tippy-tippy-tay, tippy-tippy-tay, like a gay tarantella, lucky fella. Okay, let's try that little section again. So, when the bells will ring, ting-a-ling-a-ling, ting-a-ling-a-ling, and you'll sing Vita Bella. So that's one of those big moments where the Ferris wheel takes you over the edge. So here we go. So, bells will ring, ting-a-ling-a-ling, ting-a-ling-a-ling, and we'll sing Vita Bella, Vita Bella. Hearts will play tippy-tippy-tay, tippy-tippy-tay, like a gay tarantella, lucky fella. When the stars make you drool, just like pasta fazool, that's amore. When you dance down the street and your cloud at your feet, you're in love. When you walk in a dream, but you know you're not dreaming, signore. Okay, got a little carried away there. We'll go back. So, when the stars make you drool, just like a pasta fazool. Okay, so when the stars make you drool, just like a pasta fazool, that's amore. That's amore. When you dance down the street with a cloud at your feet, you're in love. And there's a lovely moment there, harmonically. It goes from this cloud at your feet, you're in love. And then and this should be done with sort of hushed intensity and awe. When you walk in a dream, but you know you're not dreaming, Signore. Now you might remember that there are a couple of squiggly bits in that Signore, but I think it's nicer to just go Signore, portamento all the way down. So when you walk in a dream, but you know you're not dreaming, Signore. And back to tempo. Scusa me, but you see, back in old Napoli, that's amore. Okay, let's see if we can do it all the way from the top. In Napoli, when love is king, when boy meets girl, here's what they sing. 1, 2, 3, 1. When the moon hits your eye like a big pizza pie, that's amore, that's amore. When the world seems to shine like you've had too much wine, that's amore, that's amore. Bells will ring, ting-a-ling-a-ling, ting-a-ling-a-ling, and we'll sing Vita Bella, Vita Bella. Hearts will play tippy-tippy-tay, tippy-tippy-tay, like a gay tarantella, lucky fella. When the stars make you drool just like a pasta fazool, that's amore, that's amore. When you dance down the street with a cloud at your feet, you're in love. When you walk in a dream, but you know you're not dreaming, Signore. Scusami, but you see, back in old Napoli, that's amore. When the moon hits your eye like a big pizza pie, that's amore, that's amore. When the world seems to shine like you had too much wine, that's amore, that's amore. Bells will ring, ting-a-ling-a-ling, ting-a-ling-a-ling, and you'll sing Vita Bella, Vita Bella. Hearts will play tippy-tippy-tay, tippy-tippy-tay, like a gay tarantella, lucky fella. When the stars make you drool just like a pasta fazool, that's amore, that's amore. When you dance down the street with a cloud at your feet, you're in love. When you walk in a dream, but you know you're not dreaming, Signore. Scusami, but you see, back in old Napoli, that's amore, amore, amore. Okay. Okay, so I hope you enjoyed That's Amore. The next song we're going to look at is slightly more bittersweet. It's not quite so much playfulness. As I said before, it's sort of written in the wartime and during the Spanish flu pandemic. And it's basically about people wanting to get back together again when this is all over. And I think we can all identify with that very much. I certainly can do with reuniting with my barber as soon as I can. Okay, so this is the tune. I'll sing a little bit of it for you, and then we'll break it down into little chunks and learn it that way. So 1, 2, 3. Smile the while you kiss me sad adieu. When the clouds roll by, I'll come to you. Then the skies will seem more blue down in Lover's Lane, my dearie. Wedding bells will ring so merrily, every tear will be a memory. So wait and pray each night for me, till we meet again. Okay, it's a pretty little tune, isn't it? Starting at the top. It's a lovely little turn there. Smile, kiss me sad adieu. So smile the while you kiss me sad adieu. When the clouds roll by, I'll come to you. Let's do those two lines together. Okay, so 1, 2, 3. Smile the while you kiss me sad adieu. When the clouds roll by, I'll come to you. It's got a lovely little lilt to it, which is a bit like the Viennese waltz that we had in That's Amore. Very similar. It has just these little hiatuses at the ends of phrases. So, and we also have this lovely bit of detail. So, kiss me sad adieu, and I'll come to you. I'll come to you. So when the clouds roll by, I'll come to you. These little semitones that make it very interesting. Okay, so those two lines, you'll be very happy to know, tune-wise, happen again a little later on. So you'll hear them again. The next thing we go is, then the skies will seem more blue. And I like putting a little bit of daylight between seem and more. Otherwise, it sounds like we're saying Seymour. So it's, then the skies will seem more blue. And then we stay on the same note. Down in Lover's Lane, my dearie. We lift up there beautifully. Okay, it's great tension happening there, musical tension. It's so lovely. And then it resolves itself with a familiar tune that we were looking at before. So we're going to go from then the skies. Then the skies will seem more blue down in Lover's Lane, my dearie. Wedding bells will ring so merrily, every tear will be a memory. Okay, so up to that point now we've got the same material has come back. This time the second half of the verse. So wait and pray each night for me. It's a little bit like the blue skies that we had before, similar notes. So wait and pray each night for me. Now there's a difference. Instead of staying on the same note, now we go till we meet again. Okay, let's see if we can put those last notes from the wedding bells all the way to the end. So it's wedding bells will ring so merrily. Every tear will be a memory. So wait and pray each night for me. Down, okay, till we meet again. I always want to sing that wait for me in Down in Lover's Lane, but that's not a good idea. Okay, so let's try that from the top. Let's see how much of that you remembered. Should all come back to you. And the other thing that's really nice about it is that you can do it twice through. It's like, so that maybe we should do that. Let's do it twice through. Okay, here we go from the top. 1, 2, 3. Smile a while, you kiss me sad adieu. When the clouds roll by, I'll come to you. Then the skies will seem more blue. Down in Lover's Lane, my dearie, wedding bells will ring so merrily. Every tear will be a memory. So wait and pray each night for me till we meet again. Smile a while, you kiss me sad adieu. When the clouds roll by, I'll come to you. Then the skies will seem more blue. Down in Lover's Lane, my dearie, wedding bells will ring so merrily. Every tear will be a memory. So wait and pray each night for me till we meet again. Okay. I hope you've enjoyed this. Keep well.